Welcome to our channel. Today we will be talking about monitoring and evaluation. So let us see around in public health. There are many organizations, NGOs and government implementing projects and programs which are trying to make a certain impact or a change or an improvement in a particular setting or a community. So with such development projects, how do we ensure success? Or how do we ensure that the project is making certain impact or it's progressing towards what is planned? So, when you plan a project, there are multiple phases to it. To begin with, first is initiation, then comes the planning of the project, then is the implementation or execution of certain set of activities and having a certain set of goals. And then comes a step which should not be missed, that is monitoring and evaluation, as it is that step which will help us to assess the progress of the project. So suppose at times we are reading an article or a report and which says that a percentage of pregnant women in a particular setting are consuming IFA tablet have increased from say 40% to 45%. Or in a particular setting, women in reproductive age are using contraceptives and the percentage has increased from say 20% to 25%. So how do we come to this finding? How do we come to this information? So basically, this is an effort of M&E, that is monitoring and evaluation. So we often say the term monitoring and evaluation together and also call it as M&E. And though monitoring and evaluation has certain similar tools and methods and they are complementary to each other, yet these two things, that is monitoring and evaluation, are separate activities. So today in this video, we'll try and understand what exactly is monitoring and what exactly is evaluation and try to distinguish between them. So let's try to understand what exactly is monitoring. So in public health or in government or a development sector, monitoring is usually said to be a systematically collecting, analyzing and reporting information or data of a project on an ongoing basis, on a continuous basis. So to explain it further or make it simpler, monitoring is a routine or a regular process in a project which helps examine the activities and the progress of the project and also identify the bottlenecks or challenges throughout the process. So now that we have spoken about monitoring, let's move on to evaluation. So while in monitoring, the indicators show that there has been some progress made, but they don't explain in detail that why a change has occurred. So evaluation, on the other hand, looks at the question of what difference implementing an activity or intervention has made. And this question is answered usually by assessing the data which is attained from monitoring activities. And unlike monitoring, which is a continuous process, evaluation is a periodic assessment. So to put it in simpler word, evaluation is basically trying to see whether you have achieved what you wanted to achieve after implementing certain set of activities. So now let's move on to why is monitoring and evaluation done. So usually a project management team needs to do the monitoring to assess the current scenario or current situation of a project. And that is usually achieved or done by tracking the project activities or identifying different patterns of the project or seeing whether the activities are on the schedule and also measuring the progress for the expected outcomes. It is basically about collecting, counting, and tracking the activities over a period of time. For example, let's consider tracking or seeing whether in a particular project how many vaccines have been administered, or say when it comes to service delivery, how many pregnant women have been home visited, or how many healthcare workers have been trained for a certain course, or say how many healthcare awareness sessions have been conducted. So basically, monitoring is done to track the activities to understand the current scenario of a project. Evaluation, on the other hand, provides evidence whether the intervention is right or not, and if so, if it is right, then how it is right and why it is right. It also usually provides or let us know about the strengths and weaknesses of the design of the intervention. So now that we have discussed about what is monitoring and evaluation and why is it done, let's move on to when is it done, who does it, and what is the area of focus exactly. Now, coming to monitoring, it usually begins in the initial part of the project, and it's a continuous process which keeps on happening over a period of the project. It is usually undertaken by the internal team, and the area of focus when it comes to monitoring is usually the inputs, the processes or the activities, and the outputs. Now, coming to evaluation, evaluation is usually done after a certain point or a certain time in a project. We usually do it at the mid-time, also called as midterm evaluation, or at the completion of the project, that is end-term evaluation. And about who takes it up, usually it is given to external agencies or external partners, but also usually done together by both internal and external partners. And about what it focuses on, the area it focuses on is usually the outcomes and the overall goal of the project and the impact of the project. Now, moving on to why is it important to do monitoring and evaluation. Now, talking about monitoring, it basically helps us to know the status of the project and also helps to make midway corrections if needed. It allows stakeholders to make informed decisions about the efficient use of the resources, which can be in the form of uh, financial resources, human resources, or any other materials against the targets or goals that have been laid. Now, moving on to evaluation. Evaluation usually provides stakeholders with in-depth and evidence-based data on why, how the intervention has actually worked. Evaluation provides recommendation and information for long-term planning and future projects. And overall, it assesses the impact, effectiveness, efficiency, sustainability, and relevance of the project. So now, thinking about some questions which M&E can answer actually. So one would be, was a particular program implemented as planned? Did the target population benefited from the program and at what cost? Or can improved health outcomes be attributed to this program efforts? And one more would be, which program activities are more effective and which were not that effective. Now, to just put it all together, that why M&E is important and how it can be beneficial in a project. First would be it provides regular feedback and also helps in midway corrections. Second would be it helps identify problems and propose solutions. Third would be it incorporates stakeholders' views and promote participations, ownership, and accountability. Fourth would be it helps improve project or program design through feedback provided from the baseline or midterm or end term evaluation. And fifth would be it informs and influences organizations through analysis of the outcomes and the impact of the interventions, and by understanding the strengths and weaknesses of their implementation and intervention. And it also enables them create a knowledge base of types of successful interventions. Basically, it will help them to understand what works, what doesn't work, and how it works. So I hope this video helps you in understanding the basic concept of monitoring and evaluation. Happy learning. Thank you. Bye bye.